Hi, and welcome to the second video from LABapplications, which will be taking into account a comparison between the two smartphone juggernauts at the moment, which is the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the iPhone 5, which is newly launched as of Friday. I've seen Facebook pages come alive with comparisons and almost kind of fights between the two phones, and I just thought, since I have both of them here right now, I might as well give them a quick run through and run down for you guys just to compare and contrast between the two. This is not a specs comparison. This is not a what iOS or Jelly Bean or whatever is faster or better. It's more of a comparison between the two, just to let you make up your own mind as to what you think is a better handset for you. Everyone's got their own opinions, but this is just meant to be a comparative review. Maybe I'll do my own critical review in the near future if it's needed, but I'll just compare the two for now. What I've been doing so far is trying to run some comparisons between the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 4S, but it's good to try and run a few comparisons between these two handsets in terms of their relative functionality, browser, maybe a couple of games, and maybe even let's try Siri and S Voice, because hey, guess what, there's features that come on the phone. Are they usable and are they not? First thing I want to do here is just try to launch the browser. I think in the last video I said the only browser that I think can match the iPhone 5 right at the moment is the S3, so we might as well do a comparison between the two and bring up the browsers in both of them. I think both of these phones do really well in browser performance, and obviously the Galaxy S3 has a bigger screen. You can see a little bit more, maybe not as much more as you can on the iPhone 5 actually. I mean, obviously it's smaller, but you can see more or less the same kind of content. You're probably missing one extra link at the bottom here, which is not a huge deal. But let's just try and view these two pages. I'm not going to go for that one because that might actually be cached. I'm going to go for Nokia.com and see how these phones stack up. So 1, 2, 3. That didn't work out as well as I wanted. Oh no, I did tap it. We're just waiting for the X3. Wow, what a big difference there. I'm almost tempted to say that wasn't a fair whack, so I might even go for a different link there. Let's give it another try. Let's go for the one at the top. Hopefully it shouldn't be cached. 1, 2, 3. Wow, and the iPhone 5 has actually, well, actually that was a close one. That was really close, I have to say. It may be worthwhile us trying another link, maybe one at the bottom of the page, just so there's definitely 100% no, because that was, there we go. Let's try to telegraph. I have not viewed that page. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Well, the S3's won. The S3's handily won that one. And the iPhone 5 is a comfortable second. I mean, both these phones are really fast, but gosh, the S3 is killing it at the moment. Let's see if I can go back and find another link. Information Week. Let's try BBC. The BBC is a good one. Okay. I'll try them here. 1, 2, 3. iPhone 5 is done. S3 is still loading, and it's done as well. So it's obviously depending on the different kind of content that's been loading up on the pages here, you're going to get one phone that's going to do better than the others in some cases. But I think that kind of shows that they're both kind of equally matched, to be quite honest. There's no clear winner. They're both pretty good in that respect. Let's just try Wikipedia, because actually no, let's just try a completely different one. Actually no, sorry. No, let's go to I'm gonna try load up HTC's page. Let's see what happens here, because it shouldn't be HTC's page is not heavy, but at the same time it's a modern page. It loads up normal web standard stuff. So let's try to go to HTC UK. 1, 2, 3. iPhone 5 is coming up pretty quick, but it looks like the S3 has actually beat it. The S3 has actually beat it, and it looked like there was some animation going on in the S3 as well, whereas there wasn't really much in the iPhone. I'm not sure if that's Flash. It should be HTML5. Let's try a link here. It definitely looks like there's some kind of animation going on here, but the iPhone 5 is not loading up that animation. The S3 is, and again, the S3 wasn't too far behind. We also have to take into account that oh, there you go. There's some animation from the iPhone there. You got to take into account as well that the S3 is actually running a browser that supports Flash at this moment in time. When Jelly Bean does come out, it won't support Flash anymore, and hopefully that will force many web content providers to actually start using HTML5 over Flash. But I have to say, I think in some cases the iPhone 5 does lag behind the S3. I mean, to be quite honest, if I was going to choose a browser right now, I'll probably choose the S3, mainly because of the fact that it actually loads Flash, whereas the iPhone 5 doesn't. And although, you know, Flash is on its way out, it's nice to have a browser that actually does as much as the desktop version does. The S3 definitely does that, and although it may load some pages definitely a little bit slower than the iPhone, at least you're getting a much richer experience when you finally get there. And plus, another thing I mentioned, this screen makes viewing any web page pretty much a pleasure and a joy to view, because it's just so big, and you're pretty much going to see sometimes in some cases more content than you see on a desktop machine, actually on this phone. The iPhone 5 isn't a slouch, it's pretty good, but again, it's got a smaller screen, and in some cases actually its loading pages is a bit slower. But you know, in terms of speed, I'm probably going to call it a draw. But I'm just a bit more impressed with the S3 because it's loading up the pages as fast as the iPhone, and it's loading more content. Flash heavy sites would probably be a bit slower, but at least you would get there on the S3, whereas on the iPhone you're probably going to get something else. Another thing is as well in the S3 is that you actually get desktop mode as well, so you can actually force to see a desktop version of the site rather than a mobile version of the site. But both buttery smooth and pinch to zoom. I mean, I think we're gone are the days where the iPhone had a monopoly on that kind of smoothness. The Galaxy S3 is definitely there in terms of the smoothness of the browser, especially in terms of the kind of scrolling ability as well. So pretty good in both those sides. I think we're going to call that one on the S3 side for sure. Let's just try to compare some games. I mean, obviously both these phones are packing quite powerful processors. Galaxy S3 is packing a Exynos quad-core 1.5 gigahertz processor, made by Samsung themselves, obviously, and we believe the iPhone 5 is packing a 1 gigahertz dual-core processor, both running 1 gig of RAM, which keeps things ticking at a nice pace. But obviously there's a spec difference there, but let's see if the spec difference actually makes a real difference when it comes to real world performance. So I've got two games here, Asphalt 7 on both handsets, and I'm gonna do both at the same time and see which one comes out on top, which one loads fastest as well. So let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Wow, iPhone 5 is quick. It is there already, ready to go into the main menus, waiting on the S3, loading a little bit, loading some more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then we're in. So that's the real world difference right there. iPhone 5 killed it, to be quite honest, in that one. But since we're in the apps, why not try and see how well the graphical representation of cars and everything else is. Let's see if I can go into the careers of both these phones, go into the cars of both these phones, check the race, select a car. Again, iPhone 5 is quick on that rendering of the car. And you notice actually on the phones that the cars are rendered differently. It seems that you've got a lot more shaders on the iPhone 5 here than you have on the S3. I mean, the S3 still looks good, don't get me wrong, but there's just a lot. The lighting effects on the iPhone 5 are better. It's more blurred here on the S, where you can see kind of individual glare on the iPhone 5. The shaders on the car, you get a lot more reflection, which looks a bit more cool as well on the iPhone 5 than you do on the Galaxy S3. I mean, it's not that you don't see them as much. Well, you don't see them as much. In some cases, they're not even there. It's just a matte finish on there, whereas on the iPhone, pretty much everything is glossy, which is pretty cool. And another thing I'm noticing as well, I don't know if you can see this on the video, but this round circle here, definitely moving a little bit smoother, almost like it's running like a good full, I don't know how many frames a second this is, but it's almost like this is a full maybe 5 or 10 frames a second slower. You can definitely see that it's not as smooth looking as this motion here that you see on the iPhone 5 as you do on the S3. And I think even the reflections here, I mean, again, we're analysing this quite a lot, but you can see the lighting here. You know, you're definitely getting a lot more richer colours on the iPhone than you are getting on the S3. So definite differences in the graphical prowess there. Maybe this phone has an optimized software, so Gameloft has actually optimized this game for the iPhone, maybe not for the S3, but you know, at the end of the day, when you buy these games or you buy these phones, this is the real-world performance that you're getting. So hey, it looks like I would, in my honest opinion, give that one to the iPhone 5. I just think that the game looks a lot better, and I've obviously played these games before on both phones. It definitely runs better on the iPhone 5 than it does on the S3, and it controls a bit better as well. It's almost like the gyroscope is a bit more accurate. I definitely have to give it a bit more welly on the S3 than I do on the iPhone 5. So that is that. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try, both these phones come with some virtual voice assistant, and I think it's probably worthwhile giving it a try. You can obviously use Siri to check the weather, make phone calls, send text messages, and all that kind of stuff. Samsung has its own version which is called S Voice. So why not try both and see which one works the best. What's the weather going to be like? Whoops.
You don't have any events on your calendar tomorrow at 1.
Yeah, right. Let's just stop that. So this is probably a better way of doing it. Let's give both a try and ask what's going to happen tomorrow in the weather. What's the weather going to be like tomorrow?
Sorry, I don't understand. What weather gonna be like tomorrow? Okay, I set up your event for tomorrow at 1 p.m.
What the hell was that?
Are you ready for me to schedule it?
No.
Okay, you're way too busy anyway.
I like that. Siri definitely has a response for everything, but it looks like in this case that Samsung Galaxy S3 actually handily beat it there. Let's try something else. Let's try calling somebody. So, call Sandra. Yeah, let's stop that before it actually does it. But they both did pretty good well there, so it seems like a little tie there for sure. Let's try another one. I don't know, what can I ask? What's the time?
10:22 p.m.
Wow, the S3 is definitely kicking some ass here. Siri is still thinking about it. I have to say, in my experience of using the Galaxy S3, I haven't really had much luck with Siri. This is probably the best I've had the whole time. I'm probably gonna roll off for now, but I'll definitely try to do a part 2 of this and see if we can find some other bits that are comparable. But for now, this has been LABapplications, and this is a comparison between the Galaxy S3 and the iPhone 5.